What if the healthy seeds you sprinkle on your food every single day aren't giving you the nutrients you think they are? Think about your routine for a moment. Maybe you add chia seeds to your smoothie, flax seeds to your oatmeal, or pumpkin seeds to your salad. Or maybe you grab a handful of roasted sunflower seeds as a quick snack because they taste better, more satisfying, more convenient. It feels like a smart choice, a clean choice, something small that adds up to better health. But here's the part most people never question. Does it matter if those seeds are raw or roasted? At first glance, it seems like a minor detail. Raw sounds more natural, more pure. Roasted sounds processed, maybe slightly less healthy, but more enjoyable. So most people assume one is clearly better than the other. But what if that assumption is wrong? Because once you look a little deeper, something surprising happens. The way seeds are prepared, whether they're raw, roasted, or treated in other ways, can actually change how your body absorbs nutrients, how well you digest them, and even how healthy those fats really are once they're inside your body. And the difference isn't just theoretical. It can affect how much magnesium, zinc, and essential fatty acids your body actually gets from the same handful of seeds. So in this video, we're going to break it down in the simplest way possible. No complicated science, no confusing terms, just clear insights so you can finally understand what raw versus roasted really means for your health. Because once you understand this, you might start looking at your healthy snacks very differently. The real problem isn't that seeds are unhealthy. In fact, seeds are some of the most nutrient-dense foods you can add to your diet. The problem is much more subtle, and that's exactly why most people never notice it. Most people don't think preparation matters. You buy seeds from the store. Maybe sprinkle them on your food. Maybe snack on them during the day. And that's it. Raw, roasted, salted, unsalted. It all feels like a small detail. After all, they're still seeds, right? They're still healthy. And because of that assumption, two very common beliefs start to form. The first is that raw seeds are always better. They're natural, untouched, closer to their original state, so they must be the healthiest option. The second is that roasted seeds are just for taste. They're more enjoyable, more flavorful, but slightly less healthy. Something you choose for convenience, not for nutrition. But here's where things start to get more complicated. Both of these ideas are incomplete, and in some cases, completely misleading. Let's start with raw seeds. While raw seeds do contain all their natural nutrients, they also contain compounds called anti-nutrients, especially something known as phytates. These compounds can bind to important minerals like magnesium, zinc, and iron, making it harder for your body to actually absorb them. So even though the nutrients are technically there, your body might not be getting as much of them as you think. On top of that, raw seeds can be harder to digest for some people. If you've ever felt bloated or uncomfortable after eating seeds, this could be part of the reason. Now let's look at roasted seeds. Roasting changes the structure of the seed. It can make them easier to digest and improve their flavor, which is why so many people prefer them. But there's a trade-off. When seeds are exposed to high heat, especially for long periods, the healthy fats inside them can start to oxidize. And once fats oxidize, they're no longer beneficial in the same way. In fact, they can become harmful over time. Heat can also reduce certain vitamins, particularly those that are sensitive to temperature. So now you're stuck in the middle of a confusing situation. Raw seeds might be harder to absorb and digest. Roasted seeds might lose some nutrients or damage their healthy fats. And the result? You're eating something that's supposed to be healthy, but you're not getting the full benefit. Maybe your body isn't absorbing what it needs, Maybe your digestion feels off. Maybe you're unknowingly consuming oxidized fats. And all of this happens because of one small detail most people overlook: how the seeds are prepared. So before you decide which is better, you need to understand what actually happens to seeds in both forms. Now let's slow everything down and really understand what's happening inside seeds when they are raw versus when they are roasted, because this is where the confusion starts to clear up. Think of seeds as tiny nutrient packages. Inside each one, you have a combination of healthy fats, fiber, and important minerals like magnesium, zinc, and iron. These nutrients are part of what makes seeds so powerful in a healthy diet. But here's the detail most people don't realize. Just because nutrients are present doesn't mean your body can fully use them. Let's start with raw seeds. In their natural state, seeds contain something called anti-nutrients, especially phytates. These compounds exist for a reason. They help protect the seed as it grows in nature. But inside your body, they behave differently. Phytates can bind to minerals like zinc and magnesium, making them harder for your body to absorb. So even though raw seeds contain these minerals, your body may only access a portion of them. It's like having nutrients locked inside a box that your body can't fully open. At the same time, raw seeds can be tougher on digestion. Their structure is more rigid, and for some people, especially those with sensitive digestion, this can lead to bloating or discomfort. Now let's look at what happens when seeds are roasted. Heat changes the structure of the seed. It softens it, breaks down certain compounds, and reduces the level of anti-nutrients. This is why roasted seeds are often easier to digest and why your body may actually absorb more of the minerals they contain. But this is where balance becomes important. Seeds are rich in polyunsaturated fats, which are considered healthy fats. However, these fats are also sensitive to heat. When exposed to high temperatures, especially for extended periods, they can start to oxidize. And once fats oxidize, they lose their beneficial properties. In some cases, they can even form compounds that are not ideal for your health over time. So roasting helps in one way, but can harm in another. It improves digestibility and mineral absorption, but if done at high temperatures, it can damage the very fats that make seeds healthy in the first place. There's also the question of vitamins. Certain vitamins, especially those that are heat sensitive, can be reduced during roasting. So while roasted seeds might be easier to absorb in some ways, they may contain slightly lower levels of certain nutrients compared to raw seeds. Now let's talk about fat quality more specifically. The fats in seeds, especially omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, are delicate. When they're kept in their natural state, they support heart health and reduce inflammation. But when exposed to excessive heat, they can become unstable. This is why the temperature and method of roasting matter so much. Light roasting at lower temperatures preserves more of these fats, while high-temperature roasting increases the risk of oxidation. Another important factor is digestibility. Raw seeds, because of their natural structure and anti-nutrients, can be harder for your body to break down. Roasted seeds, on the other hand, are easier for your digestive system to handle. This is why many people feel more comfortable after eating roasted seeds compared to raw ones. But here's where things get even more interesting. Not all seeds react the same way. Some seeds, like flax seeds and chia seeds, are particularly sensitive to heat. Their healthy fats can degrade more easily when exposed to high temperatures. Others, like pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds, are more stable and can handle light roasting better without significant damage. So when you ask the question, which is better, raw or roasted, the answer becomes more nuanced. Raw seeds retain more of their original nutrients. but not all of those nutrients are easily absorbed. Roasted seeds may lose some nutrients, but your body can often access what remains more efficiently. And this leads to the most important insight of all. It's not simply about choosing raw or roasted. It's about how the seeds are prepared, how much heat is used, and how that affects both the nutrients and your body's ability to use them. Once you understand that, the question shifts. You're no longer asking which type is better in general. You're asking which preparation method works best for your body and your goals. So now that you understand what actually happens to seeds when they're raw versus roasted, the next question becomes much more practical. What should you actually do in your daily life? Because this is where everything shifts from theory to action. Instead of trying to label one as good and the other as bad, the smarter approach is to focus on how you prepare and use seeds in a way that gives your body the most benefit. Let's start with the best overall approach. If your goal is to get the maximum nutritional value while still supporting digestion, one of the most effective methods is something most people completely overlook: soaking. When you soak seeds in water for several hours or overnight, something important happens. The level of anti-nutrients, like phytates, begins to decrease. This makes the minerals inside the seeds more available to your body. At the same time, soaking softens the seeds, making them easier to digest. So instead of choosing between raw and roasted, soaking gives you a third option, one that combines the benefits of both. Now let's look at roasting. Roasting isn't inherently bad. In fact, when done correctly, it can improve digestion and make seeds more enjoyable to eat. The key is how you do it. Light roasting at lower temperatures helps preserve healthy fats while still reducing anti-nutrients and improving texture. But high-temperature roasting, especially when seeds are burned or overcooked, is where problems start. That's when fats can oxidize and nutrients can break down more significantly. So the goal is not to avoid roasting, it's to control it. Now let's make this even more practical based on your goals. If your priority is maximizing nutrients, especially minerals and healthy fats, then soaked or gently prepared raw seeds are a great choice. This approach keeps most of the nutrients intact while improving absorption. If your priority is digestion, especially if you've experienced discomfort with raw seeds, then lightly roasted seeds may work better for you. They're easier on the stomach and more comfortable to eat regularly. And in many cases, the best solution isn't choosing one method forever. It's using both, depending on the situation. For example, you might use soaked chia or flax seeds in your smoothies or oatmeal, while using lightly roasted pumpkin or sunflower seeds as a snack or salad topping. But just as important as what you do is what you avoid. Avoid seeds that are heavily roasted at high temperatures, especially if they taste burnt or overly processed. Avoid products that use low-quality oils or excessive salt during roasting. These are the versions that take something healthy and turn it into something much less beneficial. Keep it simple. Soak seeds when you can. Roast them lightly if you prefer the taste. Add them to foods you already enjoy: smoothies, yogurt, salads, or even simple snacks. Because in the end, the goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. And once you understand that preparation matters more than the label, you can start making small changes that have a much bigger impact on your health over time. So when you step back and look at everything we've just talked about, the answer becomes much clearer, but also more nuanced than most people expect. Raw seeds keep their nutrients in their original form, but your body doesn't always absorb all of them. Roasted seeds are easier to digest and absorb, but too much heat can damage the very fats that make them healthy in the first place. So the real answer isn't about choosing one side. It's about understanding how to use both in a smarter way. Because once you shift your thinking like that, something interesting happens. You stop asking, which one is better, and you start asking, what does my body need right now? And that's where real progress begins. Now I want to hear from you. Do you usually eat raw seeds or roasted seeds? Or after watching this, are you thinking about changing the way you prepare them? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And if this video helped you see something differently, if it gave you a clearer understanding of something as simple as seeds, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because we break down nutrition in a way that actually makes sense. And in the next video, we're going to compare chia seeds versus flax seeds, another topic that might surprise you.